So I had an ayahuasca experience for the first time recently. Actually, about 3 days ago, I did. And literally, it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever experienced. And I thought, why don't I share it with the world, you know? I feel like it could really help people, so this is kind of why I'm doing this. But, first of all, I took ayahuasca in Colorado, or better yet, actually Utah, right outside Colorado. But and I did it with a friend of mine, Adrian, and we got there, and it was kind of like a structure, sort of, not like a building, but it had dirt floors and everyone put their blankets everywhere, and I was like, I don't know about this. I was kind of just nervous, I guess. I didn't really know what to expect, but we got to talk to a lot of people, and they made me feel better about it. And then all of a sudden, you know, it started getting dark. Then they called us in at around 10 o'clock, and the ceremony started, and they passed around a tobacco, rolled up tobacco, so it would fill up your mouth cavity, and when you let it out, you kind of like, you know, move it across your head, and kind of, you know, it's for like protective purposes. And they had tobacco water, and you would actually have like a spoon, and you just like up each nostril, which I found really funny. But it was supposed to clear up your nasal passages, which it did. And then they said, okay, come up, first timers will have the first drink. So I happened to be the closest one, so I took the first drink out of everybody, so that was kind of cool. Hey. But so I waited like a half hour, and then I started to feel something. And I actually had like a sleep mask sort of thing, because I just wanted to see if I would see anything, you know, visually, and I didn't want anything else kind of distracting from the experience. So I did that, but I didn't really see anything. Mostly I just started seeing like a lot of geometric patterns, but not seeing them, but like seeing them in my head, if that makes sense. And it was like a lot of Egyptian stuff, and I guess I kind of felt like I was a man in a past life, but it wasn't anything very profound at this point. And actually I was starting to get scared, because after like an hour, I was like, oh my gosh, this is just another drug, like what did I do? And I started getting a little sad about it, but I don't know, I just rolled with it. I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna see where this goes. And eventually, I took off my sleep mask, and I got up, and I walked outside. And the thing that everyone says about ayahuasca is you literally just can't walk straight. Like, you're stumbling around, crossing your legs, like, it's very difficult. So I managed to get out there, and my friend Adrian came out, and we kind of chatted for a little bit, and then he went back. But yeah, I wasn't really feeling anything yet. Really, I mean, I was feeling it, but I wasn't experiencing what I wanted to do, which was mainly just connect with people more. And so I was alone, and I decided to just go off by the house nearby and do whatever. And when I was alone, I actually got this feeling like just singing, and it was kind of like a Native American song, actually. actually. And I wasn't saying any words, but it was just like, kind of like that, but prettier, I swear. And I kind of did that for a while, and then I sat down on the ground, and I don't really know why, but I just started like bawling and like crying about stuff. And then it was kind of funny because like I started actually like talking to myself. Like I would be asking questions and then I'd answer myself. You know, I'm sure any sober person would have been like, what the heck? But you know, a lot of people say they talk to ayahuasca, but I didn't feel like I was talking to ayahuasca. I felt like I was talking to like my higher self or my spirit guides, or whoever is here helping me in this life. And so, and you know, I had a lot of questions answered from doing that, and then all of a sudden I got this urge like, you need to take a second cup. So I was like, alright, and I got up and I was just about to go in for my second cup when I noticed that there was a group of people that had come out too, sitting in a group, and I was just curious and I wanted to see what they were talking about and see what they experienced. And you know, and with me, you should know, like, I guess before this whole thing I was very shy, and I didn't really feel comfortable going up and talking to people. You know, I was just always afraid. I was always afraid of judgment, and so I didn't really talk too much. I opened up a little bit, but really not that much. And so then I was just like, okay, and I left, and I went and got my second cup, and I came back, and I was kind of in that same mental state for a little bit, but then all of a sudden I started like feeling like, uh-oh, I'm gonna have to purge soon. And so I didn't even say anything. I just got up and walked away over to the area I was at before, and sure enough, I just bent over and blah. And someone came up and was like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And I was just like, I think it's good for me just to be alone right now. He's like, okay, I get it. And then like that's kind of at the point where I was feeling like really like happy and everything, like after that purge, but not like that much, but I was happier. I could notice it. And then, you know, ayahuasca started really kicking in again. So much to the point where I actually had to sit on the ground. I couldn't even stand anymore. And I was on my knees, and I actually felt like the need to purge again, but it was more like just a like dry gag. And I just got the feeling like I was working something out and trying to get something out of me. And, you know, I got this overwhelming sense like, you know, your veganism is important, but it's not as important as you think. You need to kind of calm down with it. Because anyone who knows me, I could be a little preachy about veganism. Even though I'm still passionate about it, it's like that was a good kind of kick in the pants. I understand what she meant by that. But, and you know, I'm still sitting there on my knees, but I'm just like, you know, my head over here, and at one point I couldn't even like function really, and I just had my head like in the ground, just like out of my mind. And I guess I was kind of seeing like more geometric patterns, more like, you know, maybe like a chain link fence. But And actually what was funny was, like, because it was so dark, like, I was in an area and there's like two guys, like, right over there, and I just, like, I hear them all of a sudden, like, hey, like, whatever you are, reveal yourself. Like, they were talking to me like I was an animal. I just, like, kind of looked up and I was, like, just quietly laughing to myself. But, yeah, so I was kind of, like, in that state for a while. All of a sudden it just came out, and I hadn't eaten, like, at all that day, and so I was really surprised at just how much actually came out. And I kid you not, as soon as I was done with that, just a wave of euphoria just overwhelmed me, and then I was like, I finally found myself. Because for the longest time, I had been thinking, like, gosh, like, I'm just not the person I know that I am. Not like any sort of bipolar thing or anything like that. I was just like, I just feel trapped within myself. And now all of a sudden I was her. I was me, like my true self. I didn't have any fear anymore. I can't even explain it with words. And when all this was happening, I was making all these, like, happy noises. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, what? And like, ah! And, like, making all these happy noises, like, for the longest time. And I could hear the group of people that were over there before by the building. They were just laughing. And eventually one of the co-facilitators, Stephanie, came over and she's like, hey, I heard, you know, you make all these noises, like, what's up? And I connected with her a lot, and I told her everything, and I eventually went back to the group, and, you know, for the first time, like, I just felt so connected with everybody. Not just this group of people, but, like, everyone in my life. And, like, and just an overwhelming sense of love for everybody. I mean, literally everybody. Like, even people who were ever mean to me. I just love them so much. And at this point too, you know, and without ego, without without my ego, just, I was so humble about all this, and I was just thinking, like, gosh, like, I love everybody. Like, I understand why they're here and what they're doing, and, you know, why I had to go through all that before. And I just understood it all. I just understood everything. Like, I was downloading all this information. It was insane. And it's funny too, because I was all happy and I was bouncing around, and I was just like, I love you guys. Like, I love each and every one of you. And I was just so happy. And, you know, I just understood everything. Like, I was everything. Like, words can really not describe, like, how much healing happened in just a few hours. And the one thing, though, that I'm still trying to decode, because I don't really understand it too much. I mean, maybe someone watching this can help me understand this, but I eventually, towards the end of the night, like right before I was gonna be coming down from ayahuasca, I just felt like, gosh, everything's gonna be okay. And, like, the world had been, like, don't judge me, this is just what I felt, but I felt like the world had been waiting for me to finally wake up. And now that I was awake, everything was going to be okay. I don't know. I have a guess at what that could have been. Like, maybe it could have been me, but, like, maybe it could have been that I was tapping into the collective consciousness. Or, I mean, that's my guess, but, I mean, that's just how I felt. And, you know, total humility. Like, I was just like, I'm just so thankful for this. Like, wow, how am I here? And just, like, I knew what it was going to be like when I finally die. I knew what happens after death. And I was talking telepathically to, like, other people in my life. Specifically, like, a YouTuber that kind of got me to this point, and I thanked him. And even though I can't, like, confirm anything yet, that's just what I felt. And the next day I was still so happy and no fear about talking with anyone. I didn't, you know, I just felt like it was okay to be me. And whatever I did was totally fine. And the thing is, I've never felt that way I mean, I only felt that way maybe when I was younger. Like when I was 8 or something. But, yeah. I mean, ayahuasca is amazing, and I'm definitely not done with her. I kind of felt like I didn't need another ayahuasca experience, like, right after. But the more I'm thinking about it, you know, I still have a lot of things that I want to get over. And, I mean, this was just a first step, and I'm so thankful. I mean, I'm so surprised that ayahuasca even exists. You know, it's not just another drug. And oh my gosh, like, I'm so thankful for her. So hopefully, no, actually, this won't be the last video on ayahuasca, because I'm gonna have more experiences in the future. But yeah, I hope this helped somebody. And like and comment. Thanks. Real quick, I just forgot to mention kind of an important part of the last bit of my experience, which was just when, towards the end, I went over to my friend Adrian where he was sitting, and he was telling me all these things, like he had a conversation with ayahuasca, and he was a Native American fighting for this land that he loved. And knowing him, he was telling me all this stuff, and we started having a conversation. And while he was talking, he made this, like, I think King of the Hill reference or something, and he does that a lot. And just, I felt like, you know, you really need to get away from the TV. Like, it's poisoning you. And I don't remember this whatsoever, but Adrian said that I looked at him and I just hit him right on the forehead, and he just got like a flash of light, and then all of a sudden he just felt like he was kind of healed from that. Like, healed from watching TV. Like, he just didn't feel like watching TV anymore, which after our experience was kind of the case. So that was interesting. And like, after that though, remember, I was still feeling like, you know, now that I'm awake, I still don't know what that means. Now that I'm awake, like, the world will be okay, and like, blah, blah, blah. And I just felt like this healer, and I started to sing that Native American song again, and around, you know, everyone that was in this building with us. And all of a sudden, like, people just started purging. And I just got this sense like that was because of me. Again, just complete humility. That's just what I felt. They were purging because of me and because of my energy, and they were able to get things out. The guy, Paul, who was closest to me, he was purging, and we had talked before, and while he was purging, his leg was really close to me, and I just remember, like, touching it and, like, kind of, like, being like, yeah, good job, yeah. And later he said in the morning, like, gosh, that just really helped me purge, and it felt really good. I was like, wow, awesome. And then I felt like I was gonna bless the place that we were in for everyone in the future to use, and it would just create that energy. And I almost felt, in a way, kind of like, again, like, I have to keep reiterating the humility that I felt. There was no ego in this whatsoever, but I felt like I was a queen waking up, finally. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like I had so much responsibility, and, like, my future was just boundless, and I just had so much power within me. Like, I was just this amazing being that somehow was having a life here on Earth. It was just incredible. So, yeah, that's really just all that I wanted to get out. That's the only thing that I kind of forgot and I left out. But yeah, just definitely ayahuasca. Beautiful.